Good evening, Anteaters. Alexa Bertola here. I'm here at the Student Center, home of the ASUCI student government. Next week, elections will be taking place. Election balloting opens at 9 a.m. April 16th and closes at 4 p.m. April 20th. Balloting is open online 24 hours a day. Don't forget to vote. Today I'm here with some of the candidates running for ASUCI for this upcoming year. So what positions are you guys running for?
I guess I'll start. My name is Jessica Phan, and I'm running for Student Services VP.
My name is Andrea Gaspar, and I'm running for Executive Vice President.
My name is Traci, Ishigo, and I'm running for ASUCI President.
My name is Bautista, and I'm running for Academic Affairs Vice President.
So what does Rooted In represent?
So before we decided to actually come together in Slate, we wanted to have critical discussion. And so we met together and we talked about our values and our visions for the office and how we all wanted to collectively come together and make sure that ASUCI's status quo is going to be challenged this year. And so we wanted to make sure that before we would actually run together that we could actually support each other. So that's what Rooted In is about. It's about, we wanted to reflect to the students that we are rooted in real values and we wanted to make real change for the students this coming year. And that's why we called each other Rooted In. And I think we're different because I think other slates might come together because of reasons of, oh, maybe you know a lot of people, you're well connected, but we wanted to make sure that it was about our values first.
So what sets you guys apart from other candidates?
So I feel that all of us have a lot of experience working within ASUCI, and we have put a lot of work into making that ASUCI is more accessible and visible to the students on campus. And I think Traci touched on the topic that we all come from different backgrounds and we all come from different places on campus. So we try to outreach to a diverse student body. So it's not only one or the other. It's we're really trying to bring everyone together into this and making sure that ASUCI is representing every single student on campus, and that when we are there doing our job as president or vice presidents, we're gonna be representing the students, and that we're gonna make sure that all of our qualifications together are gonna being able to provide a quality university to all the students on campus.
So why should you guys be elected?
Well, each of us have a different goal that we want to accomplish, but overall, the reason why each of us should be elected is because like Traci said, we came together in unity and we came together for our values, and that's what ASUCI needs and that's what the school needs, because currently our ASUCI is very disconnected from the campus, and within the ASUCI branches, they're all disconnected as well. They don't work together, and that's something that we wanted to work on as a slate, is unity throughout the office, because that we believe that once we have unity, we'll be able to better cater to the students and better serve the students and work.
I think just to add on is that we're in one of the most difficult budgetary times, and for students I think that we see a lot of our programs and resources at risk, and I think what we all really stood for when we were talking about our values is that we wanted to be strong advocates for the students. We understood what was at stake, and so I think that as long as the students believe that we need to be protecting our resources and our services and we need to have a strong voice, I hope that they find a common stake in the Rooted In Slate, because that's what we're trying to stand for, the student voice, and making sure that we bring critical advocacy back.
And finally, what does ASUCI mean to you guys?
I think that ASUCI means that it is a student body that should be representative of its constituents, right? So every year, students elect their constituents and expect them to serve them, to cater to the students' needs. And so ASUCI should be representative in that way. Like Traci said, we should be able to advocate for our students, especially in the midst of a budgetary crisis when we are losing a lot of our resources. And so in that way, we want to assert that ASUCI's representative means that we will stand for the students and by the students.
And that it's an ASUCI representative student government that students can actually trust to do more than just, because I know that a lot of students recognize ASUCI as programming the concerts and festivals, but we could be doing so much more together, all the executive offices together doing so much more for the students.
So what specific goals do you hope to achieve if you get elected into student services?
Okay, so ASUCI right now is really disconnected from the campus, I feel. And I feel like in order to bring unity onto campus and to boost student morale, everyone needs to come together as a collective. And one of the things I'd like to work on is transparency through better representation of the students. So within the ASUCI office, we also have interns, and in the student services office, we have over 100 interns. And I feel like in order for us to actually cater to the students and actually get students to be more involved, we need to pick students from all over the campus and not just one circle of students that always are like there for the leadership and stuff. So that's one of my goals for next year. And then another goal is I want to work on quality of these programs despite our budget cuts. I feel like right now ASUCI is very overprogrammed, and if we can go back to those big programs that we need to work on, I feel like we can have a better, bigger concert, I guess. And also working with other offices to make these events educational as well as entertaining is one of the goals that we hope to work with next year.
If elected as Academic Affairs Vice President, what do you hope to achieve?
If elected, I want to acknowledge the decline of the quality of our education right now. Right now, in the midst of a budgetary crisis, we are paying more, but we're getting less as far as the quality of our education. What most students feel is that they're not connected to their education in that way. And so most students don't know that we have an academic senate, which is comprised of councils that make decisions on educational policy and academic policy. And they don't know that they should have a voice in that space. The space does not have any student representation on it. And we need to be able to hold that space accountable. We need to make it more, I want to make it more accessible. I want to make it more transparent because students deserve to be represented and education should return into their hands, especially in this time. Right now, what I want to do is I want to work on getting course syllabi out faster to the students because students should be aware of what materials they're going to need for their classes, what their class is going to look like, what its schedule is going to be, and I feel that by getting it out a little bit faster, it would enhance the quality of education for the students.
What changes do you hope to achieve in ASUCI if elected for Vice President?
I'm currently the campus organizing director for the executive vice president, so I've been involved in the office for the whole last year. And I feel that we're actually doing a really good job in terms of advocating for students' rights. But most of the times we notice that we still need to outreach to more of the students, and make sure that everyone is understanding what's going on across the state. And as EVP, we focus a lot on the external issues of the university. So dealing with the legislature and dealing with the UC regions, and trying to educate students on what's going on and how last year the legislators got $650 million from our education, and how in the last 3 years the UC regions have increased our tuition fees for over 50%. So I really want to make sure the students feel empowered and that they understand that they have the power to alternate positions of power. So some of the things that I really want to do is provide a social justice class so all students understand what's going on across the state and how they can get involved and how in the past students have accomplished being able to refund our education, being able to protect our programs, and being able to fight along with other UCs and make sure that we're bringing back this university to the students to where it should belong. So that's something that I want to accomplish. Another thing that I really want to do is voter registration. And I really want to become part of the United States Student Association, which we're currently not part of. And it's a coalition across all the nation with different student organizations. And if we do that, we will be able to participate in the 2012 presidential elections and being able to bring more resources to get more students registered to vote and have more influence when it comes to make sure that politicians are responding back to the students. So those are some of the things that I really want to do and make sure that we're advocating for students and the students are getting active across campus. And not only that, but I also want to make sure that students have the affordability to attend this university. And a lot of the middle class students are not currently being protected in the university. So I'm currently working with Speaker Perez from the Assembly, the United States Student Association, to push for the Middle Class Scholarship Act. And if it passes, if you're a student who earns less than $150,000 and more than $80,000, your education will get cut by 2/3. So that's an opportunity that a lot of students have in the future to afford higher education, but it's not visible enough on our campus. Students do not know about the opportunities that they have to have an affordable higher education. And I feel that as EVP, I really want to focus on educating students and making all those opportunities visible for all of them. So I really hope to work with all the people and my peers running in this slate to make sure that students know those opportunities and that we have a better future for this university.
So, what are your top goals that you want to achieve as president of ASUCI?
Yeah. So I think that one thing that I really want to do is make sure that we bring critical advocacy back for the Office of the President. I think this past year when we saw LARC get cut and the Center for Service and Action get consolidated and the new e-tech fee that we're all paying for now, students weren't really aware and in the process or in the position to voice their opinions about what was going on. And I think it's very unclear still for many students about who made the decisions and how they're being made. And so I think that it's really problematic that if we're paying so much more every single year for education and we still don't have a voice in what we want and what programs we want to save and the resources, that means that it's literally taxation without representation. I don't think that we as students should have that. And so what I want to bring back is critical advocacy, and I also think that we need to break down the issues for the students. One of my visions is to utilize the tools of our generation. So that means using Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, to be able to make the information accessible. Hey, this is what's happening to your program right now that you love, and that could be, and we can even mix it up with an entertaining YouTube video, and possibly even show that at Ways Goose, or we could show that at some other event that is very popular at UCI, so a lot more students can understand. I didn't know that that was actually happening to one of my programs here, and I have an opportunity to have a voice on it. So it's really about making sure that we have critical advocacy. I want to ask tough questions to administration in order to protect the students, and then I want to make that information available in accessible ways for them.
Well, there you have it, UCI. Next week, during week 3, everyone's able to vote. And to all you candidates, good luck.